this? This looks real interesting.
I don't know what it is, but it looks like some good shit, pal.
I want to open it up.
Yeah, let's take a look. Let me in.
No, for real. Let me in. I want to see what's inside this thing. What's going on, Phantomaniacs? I'm going to turn this red light off because that's annoying, right? Nobody likes a red light. This is fresh from Ringside Collectibles. It is a case of WWE Elite 77. We're going to find out who's in here and if they're any good or not. This is the first time I've had a cameraman. And I'm not really big, believe it or not, at being on camera, but we're going to do this way. Put this to the side. Slide my trusty chair around. Cameraman, is that a decent angle? Can you handle that? Is that good? All right. So this arrived today on a Sunday because Ringside Collectibles uses FedEx and gets stuff to you lickety-split fast. These probably will not show up in stores for at least another month, if not longer. I pre-ordered through Ringside because this wave was, there were enough of them that I wanted the whole set, and they were also ones that I really just didn't want to wait for in any way. So we're going to take a look at here at who's in this wave and how great they are. Right on the top, one of the must-have figures as far as I'm concerned. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Miss Elizabeth. From the SummerSlam appearance with the Mega Powers. This is a SummerSlam themed wave. This is the critical moment that destroyed the Mega Powers when Hulk Hogan, in an attempt to brace the lovely Miss Elizabeth, who was up on Macho Man Randy Savage's shoulder, accidentally caressed her buttock in a familiar way. And it destroyed the most powerful team in the history of our great sport. This Elizabeth looks great. You want to zoom in on that, cameraman? If you can do it without it getting too blurry. The likeness is incredible. And the cool thing is, this piece comes off to represent her skirt being taken off at the event. Just great Elizabeth, and hopefully an indicator that we're going to get a Mega Powers, either a 2-pack or separate Elite releases. As manager of the Mega Powers, the First Lady of WWE had an itsy-bitsy teeny-weeny surprise for the Mega Bucks at SummerSlam 1988. So, awesome, great, must-have. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about this. My cameraman is uncomfortable. He needed to resituate. So very cool. Happy to have that figure. She looks awesome. The next one, now, I've already got the Ronda Rousey Ultimate figure, which is an incredible figure. But it does not have the crazy war paint look that this figure has. And on top of that, it has that figure has the jacket, and it looks so good that I had to display her with the jacket on. This one is more like ready to fight. She's got the rowdy on her top. It just looks really good. To me, this was a worthy, not upgrade, but addition. I'll be fine. I'm a huge Ronda Rousey fan, even with what she's doing now online, kind of working everybody. I think she's great. I'm excited for the possibility that she might come back, but I really love this look. She just looks vicious. Can you zoom in on that face? She just looks vicious and tough and mean. Like, this is her game face. I dig it. This is another great figure. I think they've done a really good job capturing her likeness and her intensity on this one. All right, who is up next? Oh, they don't want none. The phenomenal AJ Styles. Nobody needed another AJ Styles figure, but when this was put up for pre-order, on my wish list was a full set of the OC in their red and black gear matching. I love teams that match. That's one of the reasons I'm excited about the possibility of the Mega Powers. I dig matching gear. I think it's really cool, and I really wanted an OC set. So when I did this pre-order, I was like, "Oh, cool! It's red and black AJ. He's got his Ultimate Mom hair. He's got his OC shirt. Hopefully, Gallows and Anderson will be right behind him. Like updates of them that really wouldn't need too much more than a repaint. Big Luke Gallows with his war paint on. I'm big on war paint, obviously." So I was like, cool, I don't really need another AJ, but if I'm going to get that OC set that I want, then I'll take it. And unfortunately now, Gallows and Anderson they've gone the way of future endeavors. This is still a great AJ, but it's entirely possible my cameraman is going to inherit it to put into his goon squad. Because you're always looking for extra figures for goons. Yes. All right, who's next? Oh, possibly the most controversial wrestling figure of the decade. We're actually going to save this one because I'm going to open him live and we are going to find out if the controversy has been solved, because this is the second assortment, or not assortment, the second shipment. And I'll explain what's going on with him in a minute. Next up, we have... Okay, so last year we got a King Mabel figure that, even though I'm not really a fan of Mabel, was such a big, purple, incredible figure. I had to have it. Once I saw it in person in the store, I couldn't not buy that giant, awesome figure. And this year in our SummerSlam assortment, we get the persona that I did like, Viscera. Look at that evil, terrifying face, this big, giant figure. Personally, I love that he comes looking there at the hardcore title. I think that's great. I don't need the titles to necessarily be relevant to the specific figure. As long as we're getting new titles, I'm happy. But this big, giant Viscera, everybody already knows those are the hands that were supposed to come with the Vader that was going to be in Series 70 that, for whatever reason, didn't happen. Hopefully we'll still see a new Vader at some point. I would love a WCW-specific Vader. But until then, we've got this great Viscera with his blonde mohawk and his black lips and his fish eyes. Just a terrifying, big, giant monstrosity of a wrestler. I am happy to have him. He's one of the staples of the Attitude Era to me. All right. Have we got any comments or anything coming in? They haven't been showing up. I don't know what I've got set wrong on there. If you're commenting, I'm sorry. Once the video's done, I'll go in and look at the comments and answer. All right. So the last figure, but not necessarily the focus, because we're going to get to him in a minute, but definitely the biggest release of the wave, probably the most pre-ordered figure in the history of Ringside Collectibles. I don't know that that's a fact, but it wouldn't surprise me a bit. None other, let me in, than the Fiend Bray Wyatt. The second I saw this character, I knew I had to have him. Mask designed by Tom Savini. Character executed, in my opinion, with perfection. Some of the matches maybe haven't been everything that we would want out of such an iconic character, but just somebody that I had to have. He's got the hurt and heel on his gloves. I think his face looks incredible. I can't believe they actually gave him that lantern. I thought there was no way we would ever see that as a toy, but there it is, the old Bray Wyatt head with the lantern in the mouth. Craziness. All new tooling, completely new figure, looks absolutely incredible. This is the centerpiece to me of a historic wrestling collection, because there's never been anything quite like Bray Wyatt. Obviously, he has his roots in characters like Undertaker and Mankind and Kane, but in the modern day, this kind of gimmick is unique, and the fact that he's gotten it over in the way that he has is incredible. I didn't read the other bios. Let's see here. When Finn Balor challenged the Fiend Bray Wyatt to a match at SummerSlam 2019, he found out how dangerous it is to let him in. It's great. I can't wait to open this one up. I'll have full pictures and stuff up if you're following Needless Things Podcast on Instagram. I'll have up some pictures. But right now, we are going to open the Ravishing one because the first shipment of Ravishing Rick Rude figures are suffering from what I like to think of as the Jax malady, where the soft goods, the dye that is in the soft goods clothing, has not just stained the figure, but actually been absorbed into the plastic to the point where the initial run, and I, we'll see what this one looks like, but we're ruined. I mean, you can't have, they would be on the arms and on the legs, where everywhere the robe's making contact in the packaging. So we're going to open him up right now, and we're going to see if maybe this newer shipment doesn't have that problem. But I'm not going to hold my breath. Get the trusty 1964 box cutter out. You know it well from the Needless Things Podcast YouTube channel, where this video might end up. I'm going to have to review it and see how well my cameraman did. Seems to be doing a pretty good job. Thank you. All right. It's the moment of truth. The moment of rude truth. Got a little rubber band in here. Gonna snip that. So we'll get this guy right out of here. I'm nervous because I don't want to have to deal with this figure being stained, because I don't know what Ringside's plan is for this right now. But if it is stained, it's ruined, it's defective, I'm not gonna keep it. But I don't want to. Those guys don't want to have to deal with. No, you don't want a stained Rick Rude. But although I will say this, look at that mustache and that hair. I mean, whatever else may be going on with this figure, he's incredible. This was one that I knew I had to have, and I'm actually glad I got this version of it. But because there is a chase. There are two different versions of this Rick Rude, and it was just kind of a crapshoot as to which one I was going to get. Oh, I'm nervous. Oh, he's got little tabs holding his robe into the thing. I hate that. All right, hang on. I don't want to cut the robe. Oh, why do they do this? It drives me crazy. Normally, I would have my trusty fingernail clippers here to assist me with this, but I didn't think I would be cutting through any plastic tabs. What a terrible thing to do to a poor Rick Rude. All right, are there any more of those? No more plastic tabs. Let's get him out and see what he looks like. All right, so this is the darker version. If it was the yellow tights with the Intercontinental Championship on the front and Rick Rude's face on the back, I think the legs being stained would be more apparent. Everything looks fine right now, though. Can you zoom in on the figure? Mm-hmm. It looks like color-wise, this guy is A-okay. I don't see any. There's a little paint scuff. Well, I don't even know that that's a paint scuff. That might just be part of the design. Everything looks fine on the legs. I'm nervous. Let's take a look at the upper body and the arms and see what's going on here. Where's your shoulder joint, buddy? Body looks good. Everything's clean. You see anything on the torso? No. I don't see any black stains. Everything looks okay. Let's get this first arm. He's got his tattoo. There's a little stain on the back of his arm, but it's not bad at all. Like, that's barely anything. Can you even see it? Mm-mm. There's a little staining right there, but my gosh, I mean, oh, look at his forearm, though. Do you see that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Ugh. All right, let's take a look at the other arm and see what we've got going on. Oh, gosh, the other arm's terrible. Look at the bicep right there. Mm. The elbow. It's got black elbows. Yeah, the elbows on both sides are pretty bad. Oh, I hate this because the figure's so good. Look at that. Ultimate Warrior painted on the front of his tights. Feel the heat on the back. Like the deco on those tights is so good. I was on the WrestlingFigs.com forums, and there was a guy who described a process that would get this black off of the figure, and I might give it a try. I can't remember exactly what it was. I want to say he used not acetate. He used something, and it pulled the color out. I might give it a shot because I feel like this should come out. I feel like there should be a solution for this that isn't me returning it and just not having a Rick Rude, because that's the option. If the second wave or the second shipment is like this, they're probably all like this. It's the dye and the fabric. Oh, and another tip: if you soak this in cold water for however long, it'll pull the rest of that dye out, and it won't be a problem anymore. So it's not a lost cause. If we can just get the stains off of his arms, then we'll be fine. And we also got, as is a trademark of the Elite series now, we've got the extra hands. These are great figures. I've become a wrestling figure collector again because I think Mattel is making the best wrestling figures that have ever been made. Now, other stuff is coming soon. Super 7 has got their entries. Jazzwares, run by the incredible Jeremy Padawer, is entering the ring. And of course, our pal Chris over at Figures Toy Company has a range that fits in with the legendary Ruthless Aggression line that offers the biggest variety of talent you're ever going to see from a wrestling figure line. Mattel will never match it. Super 7, Jazzwares, nobody will ever match the variety of figures you can get between Ruthless Aggression, Classic Superstars, and what FTC offers. So there's tons and tons of great wrestling figures out there, and not all of them are stained. Thanks for watching Phantomaniacs. Like I said, follow Needless Things Podcast on Instagram, and I'll have tons of pictures of these guys up probably by tomorrow. And thank you, cameraman, for helping me out. All right, make us not live.